Good evening, good afternoon, good whatever. I am Adventure Argonaut. This is Murders on the Yangtze River, and oh yeah, before I forget, I go check out my TV Argospective on Honor Among Thieves, the Dungeons and Dragons movie from like 2 or 3 years ago. I put it out last night for me, but for some it might still be the same day or depending on your time zone. But it's yeah, review on the movie, or rather how it's not very good Dungeons and Dragons. It's an okay movie, but yeah, it's on YouTube and Rumble. Yeah, but okay, the game, I mean my streams look fine. I have my chat here, so let's go play the game. We are where are we? This one, right? Yes, I do believe that's the right save. So we are at the Hanyang Iron Works. Like, it sounds a bit familiar, so maybe there's actually some iron works there. And there was somebody who supposedly committed suicide, and we have to figure out why did he do it, or was it him, or what's going on. And it's not just not gonna be like mere suicide. There's gonna be something else. Investigations have come to a temporary close. Shall we discuss them with Deputy Administrator Lee? Okay. Victim appeared out of thin air. Shen, things seem to be getting stranger and stranger. We still haven't figured out how Foreman Singh appeared out of thin air. 2 more oddities, the disappearance of the railing and the sudden opening of the shutter. Even if Foreman Singh was able to avoid old Lee, it would be quite difficult for him to be unseen by old Chow and Awu. How exactly could this have been achieved? Where's the journalist? We were supposed to talk to her, but she wasn't where the camera was. They're casting ink up ahead. Let's not go over there just yet. Okay, so now we, I guess, have to go. Mr. Lee is waiting for you at the office. Head there. Okay, so I guess we have to go there. This, I guess, is sort of telling you to save or something if you're, you know. Oh, there she is. Miss Wen has already uncovered the whole story of the incident. Let's listen to it together. Miss Wen, please tell us about your findings. Deduction truth behind Foreman Thing's whatever. Thing's death wasn't caused by Coast, nor was it an accident. It was actually suicide. Suicide, that's out of question. Today is the pivotal moment for the trial production of the Siemens Martin furnace. Singh was engrossed in this affair. There's no way he would kill himself today of all days. It's precisely because of today's importance that he chose to commit suicide. Why is that? All these years, Foreman Ting has been obsessed with studying steelmaking technology. He proposed a method that was said to greatly reduce the cost of production. As a result, the Hanyang Iron Works began to receive large orders for steel rails. However, at this crucial moment, severe quality problems with the steel rails were exposed. Ting shouldn't have carried all the blame. It was mainly due to the high phosphorus content in the coke that was used. To solve this problem, he made a pledge to improve the technique once more. However, each and every trial production ended in failure. In desperation, he had no choice but to turn to superstitions and legends. What happened this morning was actually a planned suicide, or more like a sacrifice. Could it be that I put too much pressure on him? Tragic. Foreman melts body to iron and steel. National industry less than ideal. This will be the next headline of my news report. Miss Wen, you seem absolutely sure that Foreman Ting committed suicide. Do you have any evidence? Well, of course. I found Foreman Ting's suicide note on the office desk. Wait. Hold it right there. Where's the suicide note? How come we never saw it? Such precious news material would obviously need to be protected. She needs to be slapped for interfering in a criminal investigation. How could you hide evidence like that? I was afraid this clue would be lost, so I took it for safekeeping. How could that count as hiding evidence? Miss Wen, would it be possible to let me take a look at the letter? Sure, there's nothing special about it anyway. For many years I have given all my all to try and make good steel. Nevertheless, all my attempts and methods have ended in failure. It seems that I should follow the example of Yangtze and Mo Ye. Sacrificing myself to the furnace will surely move the hearts of the gods. The last words of Ting Ta Feng, written in the office of the furnace factory floor. Shen, it really is a suicide note. Your Honor, the handwriting does look like Foreman Ting's. Miss Wen, you didn't damage the evidence, did you? Of course not. I kept it exactly the way it was. Under these circumstances, Shu Heng, go and draft an announcement. Announce the whole story of this incident and quell the rumors. Hold on. Something is questionable about this letter. This is just an ordinary letter. What's wrong with it? There's a detail in this letter that conflicts with the existing evidence. Miss Wen, shall I review the letter one sentence at a time and question the problematic ones? Then I shall compare the questionable content with the evidence we already have collected. If I am able to find evidence that contradicts the contents of the letter, I shall present it to you. Alright, go on then. Inquiry, the problem of the suicide note. For many years I have given them a try to make good steel. Okay, let's do a save, of course. So is it another fake suicide note, or is it misinterpreted or something? I think that sounds reasonable. Nevertheless, all my attempts and methods have ended in failure. Let's see our evidence. Supervisor host testimony claims that he last saw Foreman Ting yesterday even near the steam turbines, and he was wearing headcloth. Blueprints. And the wall of the open hearth workshop office hung 2 drawings, furnace construction plan and a workshop layout. Office desk, there's a desk lamp, paperweight. The inkstone. Inkstone was dusty, so he hasn't used it recently. Of course, it's possible he had another inkstone he had used or something. Grey spot powder. Outlet Shutton. I think it's probably the office desk is there, but which statement we have to use it to? It seems I should follow the example of Gan Jiang and Mo Ye. Sacrificing myself to the furnace will surely move the hearts of the gods. Last words of Ting Ta Feng written in the office. So that's what the note says. Yeah, I think this is Ting Ta Feng. Yeah, so he wrote, or whoever wrote this note, it has his name. Maybe this. Here's proof. Does Miss Wen believe that Foreman Singh wrote this suicide note in the office? This letter was written with a calligraphy brush. It was written on the desk in the office. Then have you ever paid attention to the inkstone on the office desk? Inkstone? This suicide note is indeed written with a calligraphy brush. It also mentions written in the office at the end. However, the only inkstone in the office is dry and has accumulated a layer of dust. Evidently, it has not been used in a long time. There is an evident contradiction. This letter could not have been written at the office. Ironworks are always dusty, so it's normal for dust to accumulate. Yet there is barely any dust on the desk, not to mention the shrine is completely spotless. It's thus clear that only the inkstone has not been used in a long time. Well, what if Foreman Singh carried a brush and ink around with him? Yeah, that's possible. Who in the world would carry an inkstone around? You're being too unreasonable. Is Mr. Detective going to dismiss the possibility? Miss Wen, you are welcome to make such an assumption. However, there is one detail in this letter that contradicts the signature. Point out the place that contradicts with the signature. What? Is it because it's been like folded or something? And I can't even save here because it's in Chinese, so it's not if the suicide note was written in the office, certain mark would not be present. Yeah, it wouldn't be folded in this way, right? But I don't know, there's so many folds. Which fold are we supposed to? Mr. Shen, you're saying there's something with the creases? Precisely. Miss Wen said that she had specifically kept the letter as it was to prevent damaging evidence. Therefore, Miss Wen was not the one to cause these creases, correct? That's right, I didn't make those creases. When you discovered the letter, it was lying flat out on the surface of the office desk, correct? Yeah, what's the problem? There are creases on the letter. Usually a letter is folded so that it's more convenient to carry. If this letter was truly written by Foreman Singh in the office before he committed suicide, why would he go through the trouble of folding it? Maybe he wrote the letter somewhere else. But the letter clearly states that it was written in the office of the furnace factory floor. That's true. Could it be that this suicide note was forged? That is correct. Someone is trying to cover up the truth of Foreman Singh's death. What? What need is there to cover up Foreman Singh's death? The workers clearly saw him jump into the furnace. Could it be possible that the workers who witnessed the incident are hiding something? I wonder if this is the killer, but he I don't know, resembles the first killer too much, whatever his name was. So that, I don't know. Cool, go and bring all the workers who were present at the time of the incident for questioning. Mr. Detective, you still haven't completely convinced me about the problem of the suicide note. You're a freaking journalist. You should just slap her. That's the best way to deal with her. None of us can accurately predict the state of mind of a person before their death. It's also possible that Ting wrote the letter somewhere else, then left it in the office. Although this is highly unlikely, the possibility does exist. We should not make conclusions based on a single piece of evidence. Let's discuss it later. It says Foreman Ting, vexed of his Steelworth failure, wrote a letter in the office, then chose death in a homage to steel. The riddle of steel. Agent Doublehurch, yes, another case detective. We are in an ironworks, and some guy supposedly committed suicide, but we just uncovered that his suicide letter appears sus and is probably fake. Then let's put the matter of the suicide note on hold and discuss other doubts first. Fine. Your Honor, Old Chow and Awu are here. Come on in. We should get on it while the footprints are still fresh, so to speak. Well, we sort of investigated the matter, now we are discussing the evidence already. The two of you need to recall the events of this morning once more. Don't omit any details. We spent all morning saying the same things a bunch of times. Awu, answer His Honor a question properly. His Honor's question. Oh. Testimony regarding Old Chow, blah, blah, blah. At the time, my master and I were in the middle of casting ingots. I suddenly saw the foreman Ting. He was resting against the railing next to outlet number 2. When Awu was informed of what he saw, I noticed the shutter behind foreman Ting was open. Yeah, this was open. So the outlet shutter opened at the same time as the appearance of the foreman. So maybe he is somehow... Because my theory is that the foreman there was some sort of dummy or something. Said that maybe he's not actually dead. So maybe he framed his death or something. So maybe like it came out of the hatch somehow or was behind the hatch or something. I think he probably opened it himself. Seconds after, Ting suddenly dived forward. Right after that, the ladle exploded. There is one contradiction within their statements that is related to this evidence. Inquiry. Slot number 1. The time my master and I were in the middle of casting ingots, suddenly saw the foreman Ting. He was resting against the railing next to outlet number 2. I noticed the outlet shutter behind Ting was open. He likely opened it himself. Seconds after, Ting suddenly dived forward. Right after that, ladle exploded. Throughout this entire process, we didn't see another person on the other side. She was wearing the headcloth and the white powder. He likely opened it himself, but he cannot open it from this side. That has to be the contradiction. I think whatever it is, the murder is a team of 2 people. In real life, a suicide could not be ruled out, but it would not make it for good content. If the mystery was, there is no mystery. Yeah. Because, well, my suspicion is that maybe there is no murder. Maybe the guy just faked his death for some reason. Well, have to see, but like, because the body, like it didn't seem like, you know, it's actually alive or anything. Like whatever fell into the ladle, as they're called. It was impossible for Foreman Ting to open the outlet shutter by himself. He could not have been the only person on the site. Why not? The lever is very long. To pull it, one must stand on the other side of the molten steel basin. However, when they saw Ting, they also found the outlet shutter open. This could not be achieved by one person alone. To this dummy theory, that would make for a fun mystery, yeah. Of course, maybe it's a bit too obvious, because the way they, you know, showed the animation and stuff, it's clearly, you know, doesn't seem like a, you know, human that's actually taking action, so... It's possible that it was the guy and he was drugged or something. It might not have been completely simultaneous. After all, Avu and I weren't staring at the other side the entire time. Mr. Detective, couldn't Foreman Ting just pull open the shutter and then sprint to the ladle? No, he could not, because this was present on site. This thing, like the ramp or whatever slide. After Foreman Ting pulled the lever, he must have stepped over the basin to reach the falling spot. However, once the outlet shutter is opened, the basin will be filled with molten steel, 1600 degrees Celsius. A person could not possibly pass through. We had to be smart again. Or just do trial and error. That works too if I'm dumb. To reach the spot he died from, Ting had to pass through the charging area behind the furnaces. Yeah, and there was the old guy here, digging and stuff. This could not be achieved in a short amount of time. Perhaps Foreman Ting opened the outlet shutter beforehand. And it was only a coincidence that old Chow and Wu didn't see him do it. The outlet shutter was closed the whole time before the incident. I'm not lying. Even if old Chow and Wu possibly missed sighting him, when Ting passed through the refilling area, he was bound to run into the furnace charger, Old Lee. How do we explain the fact that Old Lee was completely oblivious to Ting's appearance? Oh, did 5 ghosts transport him? Did the shrine unleash its powers? So yeah, it's this shrine that they think is, you know, they have superstitions against this shrine here. The ghosts and gods are not at work here. The will of a person is. The other person must have been present at the scene of Foreman Ting's falling incident. I like the creepy expression on the shadow guy's face. The moment Foreman Ting leaned against the railing, that person pulled open the outlet shutter. Wait a second. With old Chow and Awu watching in front of the furnace and old Lee working in the back, if there's really another person present on site, how could they possibly remain undetected? Good question. By using this piece of evidence, they would be able to conceal themselves tactfully. The expression, yeah, so happy to commit murder. Well, yeah, have you ever committed murder? You don't have to implicate yourself, though. The ladle, yeah, I think this was in front, right? If the person wanted to conceal their tracks, all they had to do is utilize the ladle. I got it! Shen is talking about visual blind spot. This so-called blind spot, does it refer to an area that cannot be seen? If I did, I was certainly not looking forward to it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's good to state it publicly like that. Talking about murder, I presume. Yes, this ladle is 2 meters tall and 1.5 meters in diameter. It would definitely block their vision. But my master and I were standing in different places when we were casting. One of us is always looking at the other side. Oh Chao, where were you and Abu standing during this task? What was your distance from the ladle? Usually I stand on the left side of the ladle and Abu stands next to me. We are close to it. I have observed the two of you working from metal casting platform. Both of you have blind spots when you are working, and your blind spots intersect with each other. That's where the suspect hid themselves. But my master and I don't just stand there. When the ladle moves, we move along with it. Wouldn't we see them once we start walking? The reason why you would not be able to see the suspect is because suspect moves with the ladle, right? No, but seriously, haven't you like murdered somebody in a game like, you know, Among Us or something? Or, you know, some role-playing game or something? It's quite simple. By moving alongside the ladle, they could continuously stay in the blind spot. That's true. As long as they can't see the workers won't be able to see them. Because the path of light is reversible. Interesting. If this was published in a novel or a column, I'm sure readers would be interested. However, I'm afraid Mr. Detective forgot that things falling caused an explosion. If there was another person on the platform at the time, how could they survive? Yet there was no other casualties in the falling incident today. How do you explain that? Liquid Snake said, I played the game because I enjoyed the killing, but I swear to God. Okay. I believe the suspect could have hidden here. Save before we have to find the spot. Here? No, here, I guess. Because, you know, like the explosion wouldn't get to him, but like would the guys be able to see him? Of course they'd be distracted by the explosion. The passageway on the right side of furnace was not affected. They could hide there. Yeah. Why is it M? Midget? Medium? Midwit? Hidden behind the ladle, they were not far from the passageway when the explosion occurred. Okay. Dial M for murder. Yeah, murderer. You're probably right. While Ting's appearance caught the attention of the workers, they hid inside the passageway. Sounds like the suspect not only knows steel making, but also knows people as well. Good point. But that still doesn't seem right. Avu, what right do you have to interrupt their conversation? Avu, what other problems are you aware of? I clearly saw Ting leaning on the railing. He toppled over because it suddenly disappeared. If the shrine didn't unleash its powers, how could the railing suddenly disappear? Railings won't disappear into thin air, kiddo. Ghosts don't exist in this world either. But I saw it with my own eyes, I swear. I'm also 100% sure that you saw things incorrectly. It's easy for people's memories to get confused when they're nervous or afraid. I didn't see incorrectly. Miss Wen, why are you so sure that Avu was mistaken? When I was taking photos yesterday evening, the railing was already missing. Let's see if my dummy theory is correct. Maybe the railing was like attached to the dummy and not to the railing, and somehow tied to the front of the dummy to make it seem like the railing was there or something. Only the furnace charger was the only person on duty last night. Already missing out temporarily. Yeah, it's possible that, you know, it was taken when the murderer or dummy maker was, you know, planning the operation. Only the furnace charger was the only person on duty last night. He claims that he didn't install any railings. If you don't believe me, look at this photo. Shen, there really is no railing above the ladle. But I saw him leaning against the railing. Stop sticking your neck out, you. Too much talk is always a loss. Mr. Shen, if there wasn't a railing above the ladle, that means that Ting stood there by himself. The workers are also absolutely certain that there wasn't anyone around him. Then how did he fall into the ladle? That's why I said it was suicide. However, combined with Mr. Detective's deductions, it's possible someone is helping him. The disappearance of the railing and things falling may be connected to this. Disappearance of the railing. Either this one or this one. It has to be the puppet theory, Argo. A real murderer would not need this kind of railing setup. Probably, unless it was actually he was murdered and he was drugged, but it still seems a bit convoluted. And yeah, if he's drugged, he wouldn't be so stiff. I guess it could be the blueprint somehow, but no, I don't think that's the case. Found below the railing at the incident site. Upon closer inspection were a small particle of lingering pungent odor. It's one of these probably. Let's try the powder. I'm not sure if this is the right one. This is the powder that Afu found near the railings. This powder is actually grayish-white particles that have a lingering, pungent smell. This is the residue of a burnt substance. We have only found it at the site of the incident. This indeed doesn't seem like something used in steelmaking. It's cocaine. We believe that the suspect set up some kind of mechanism on site that caused things falling. I never thought that the story behind the falling incident could be so complicated. A mechanism is quite newsworthy. So what kind of mechanism was it exactly? Well, we still need some time to investigate that. I have seen a number of Western machines, strange and intricate things that left me in awe. If the mechanism you speak of can be restored, this whole incident will basically make sense. Doubts and gods. Ghost? What did I say? Ghost and gods were not at work here, but the machinery caused it all. However, if there is still one thing that I can't understand. The series of plans was quite complicated, required cooperation of Form and Ting. Why would Form and Ting be at the mercy of another? I think he planned this himself, but I guess I should still save. Setting up the railing would require one to know where exactly the victim stops and is overrated before the fact, which is easier to know when it's a puppet, yeah. Could it be that this was all an act planned by Form and Ting? What act? Like jumping into a ladle as performance? All signs indicate that Form and Ting purposefully created an eerie atmosphere around the shrine. His strange death undoubtedly pushed this atmosphere to its peak. Shen, I just thought of something. If Ting jumped into the ladle by himself, wouldn't there be no need to set up a mechanism? That is correct. We need to consider other possibilities. Why would Form and Ting be at mercy of another? I'm afraid Form and Ting at the time had already come to harm. How is that so? I will claim that he saw Form and Ting leaning against the railing, staring directly downward. The railings were burning hot, but it did not matter to him because he could not feel anymore. His eyes were not looking down, but instead closed. This also explains why Form and Ting did not jump down, but instead dived forward. Therefore, I suspect this was a murder. Murder? Then, Your Honor, we need to conduct another round of investigations. Although we have a preliminary deduction of the suspect's MO, there are still many mysteries. Like how the suspect left the scene, as well as suspect's identity and their motive. We have no clue at all at the moment. Ting is stubborn and has offended many people. But he is a diligent man who shouldn't have suffered such misfortune. At present, the ironworks can't afford to be delayed any further. Your Honor, the nature of homicide is different. If the villain commits more crimes, the ironworks will lose even more. If there is no conclusion by tomorrow morning, you may draft an announcement to calm public opinion. Besides, I believe Mr. Detective will uncover the truth before tomorrow morning. Isn't that right, Great Detective? I will do my best. Then let's act according to Miss Wen's suggestion. Shen, why is Miss Wen on our side all of a sudden? She doesn't seem to mind that she lost to you either. I heard that, kiddo. Who said this was a competition? The news should be more important to Miss Wen. How about this falling incident shrouded with mystery? Detective tries to uncover conspiracy. Shen, what should we do next? If Form and Ting had already come to harm when the falling incident occurred, that proves that the second floor furnace area is most likely not the primary crime scene. We didn't think of the possibility the puppet was a corpse. Yeah, I think I mentioned it, but it's like, if it was a corpse, then like how long does rigor mortis stay, and is it like how stiff will he be? Like, is he like completely stiff, like a, you know, like a statue or stuff, because he was just standing there? Not quite sure. It's been a while since I carried any corpses around, so don't remember so well. We need to think of a way to find the primary crime scene. This is the desk that Supervisor Ho moved here temporarily. There's a headcloth on the desk. Supervisor Ho was using it to bag the money. Is that the headcloth that teen guy was using? There's an account book next to it. Let me take a look. Only his wages were deducted a lot. The reason is because he skipped work multiple times. Who was bagging the money? Yeah, it was in the bag, I guess. Awu's wages were the second most deducted for being late. All Chao's have also been deducted. These are circumstances worth keeping in mind. Since this door leads to the backyard, let's head over there and take a look. Alright. No problem. These particles only appeared at the site of the incident, likely related to some mechanism. Afu, do you remember what it is? Not yet, but I still smell is really familiar. I'll keep an eye on it for in the ironworks. Okay, how did the suspect leave? Even if the suspect used a ladle to stay undercover and avoid the sight of Old Chow and Wu, how were they able to leave the scene completely undetected? After the incident, workers were fighting in the fire in front of the furnace. They would have seen them if they walked out from the front. I believe their safest choice would be the elevator in the charging area behind the furnace. Old Lee said that he didn't see anyone unless he... We need to re-investigate the surroundings of the charging area. Okay. Primary crime scene. The second floor of furnace may not be the scene of the actual crime. No body, no autopsy, there's no way to know what unforeseen mishap Foreman Ting ran into. Shen, how are we supposed to find the primary crime scene? We don't even know if he was already dead or in a state of unconsciousness before he fell. We need to broaden the scope of our investigation. Let's look into the places Foreman Ting had been to before the incident. His relationships, Foreman Ting is really unpopular, nobody likes him. It feels like everyone has a motive. Okay, what do we find in the backyard? Monument. This monument was erected when Hanyan Ironworks was first put into operation. At the time, there were quite a few foreign engineers who came to work at the ironworks. There's some room there. Let's see the other side first. Burlap sacks. These gunny sacks are filled with lime. Okay. Kujui. How's the investigation going, you guys? We're still investigating, and there's some questions we wanted to ask you, Mr. Patrolman. However, we are short on time, so we hope that you can be straight with us. Where's this coming from? My headache is sometimes good and sometimes bad. Then is it good or bad right now? With a murderous suspect on the loose in the ironworks, Mr. Lee is already troubled enough. If there's anything you want to know, you can try asking me. Okay. His relationships. Did Foreman Ting ever have a problem with anyone? There's quite a few. Let's count Avu in first. Was it because Foreman Ting was strict and paid Avu's wages late? Not entirely. Ting was stricter with Avu more than he was with anyone else, so Avu hated him. Foreman Ting came from the backwater countryside and was the youngest in his family. In the past 2 years, his family died of illness or old age. He was the last one who left. He was also an old bachelor. There's no one to even handle his funeral affairs. Avu was also born to a poor family. He's clever. Everyone knows Ting treated him like his son. Alas, it's regrettable that Ting was obsessed with steelmaking. He was considerate at all. He was not considerate. Obviously he meant well, but sometimes his words sounded harsh and mean. That's why Avu kicked over his shrine a while ago. So Foreman Ting was really quite alone. It sounds so pitiful. Other than Avu, who else did Foreman Ting have a dispute with? Old Lee is also quite stubborn, so these two stubborn old men often fought. Also, a while back, Foreman Ting even beat up that foreign boss from the laboratory. Thanks to his bad temper, he lost his job in the lab and became a labor foreman here. If there's anything you want to know, okay, nothing else. Objects under tarpaulin. I'm sure it's pig iron underneath this tarpaulin. Huh, this isn't pig iron. Shen, there's rubber blocks piled underneath here. A large quantity of rubber. Is there a need for rubber in the process of steelmaking? Not at all. These rubber blocks belong to Mr. Lee. They are just temporarily stacked here. Afu, under our feet. Ah, these are scraps of rubber. That means someone processed rubber blocks here. Okay. Shabby uniform. There's a uniform over here. It looks really dirty and it's all covered in rust. Only a worker in the charging area could make their clothes this dirty. Sir, do you know whom this clothing belongs to? You can ask around to see which worker came by the warehouse today. Are you sure this uniform was discarded today? I just cleaned this place up with old Chow and the others last night before we got off work. This situation is worth recording. Uniform stained with rust found in the warehouse. Patrolman Ku claims it was discarded this morning. Tools. A file, screwdriver, saw, wrench. There are a lot of tools placed on top of this chest. Elevator. Let's go to the lab or whatever it was over here. Rubber, what does our detective brain make of it? I'm not sure, but maybe it was somehow used in... I still haven't completely given up on the dummy theory. Maybe the spine of the dummy was made of rubber or something. This laboratory is huge. Well, speak of the devil. I was just telling Mr. Robinson, yes to you, Mr. Robinson, about your two detectives. There are a few questions I would like to ask Mr. Robinson. Of course, allow me to introduce you. This is Mr. Robinson, a chemist from England. He is also head of this laboratory. Mr. Robinson, this is Mr. Shen. Beside him is his assistant Afu. Mr. Shen, I did hear thy deductions are marvelous. This case is still under investigation, so your cooperation would be greatly appreciated. If it be true, thither is aught I can hope through with pretty did let me know it. What the fuck? And I is not capitalized. I don't know what's going on. Mr. Robinson, I'm also really interested in the chemistry. If there are some experiments that come to mind, can I borrow your laboratory table? Aye, aye. Okay. There are several test tubes and a scale on the laboratory table. Okay, start. Okay, help. Okay, ask about yourself. That Ho introduced us to a meth dealer. Yeah, I like the sentence that Ho introduced us to a meth. It's the Ho's meth dealer, and the meth dealer seems to be getting high on his own supply. Mr. Robinson, could I ask you to give us introduction to the tasks of a chemist? To be able to smelt metals, this behooveful to understand the composition of the minerals. Here deciding the ingredients, proportions, and which refining process to use. Mr. Robinson is saying before steel making we need to know the composition of the minerals. Then we decide on the ingredients, proportions, and which refining process to use. He is responsible for running tests on the composition of various minerals through chemistry. So Mr. Robinson is also in charge of chemical testing for the quality of the steel rails, right? We doth not have the art to explore the caliber of steel rails. What Mr. Robinson means to say that the Ironworks laboratory does not have the credentials to run tests on steel rails. Credentials? Railway constructors, mainly foreign companies, have their own preferred testing institutions. The test reports issued by our Ironworks are unable to get approved. We don't have the license. He speaketh the truth, Ho. If it be true, okay, blah blah, about Foreman Ting. I heard that he once served as your assistant. Why was he transferred to the factory floor? Jing was very talented. I applaud his contributions as mine aid. He doth help me in many ways, and in return I did give at him bounteous rewards. Co-equal, so he did make it an unforgivable misprision. He was a cut-purse. If I wanted to drug somebody, I would ask this guy. Yeah, except I'm afraid I would get drugged first. He did steal my notes, which did hasn't multitudinous data of the essence. He eke did steal laboratory instruments, then did return them the next morn. Oh me, the gods, doth he truly bethink yond I would not find it out? Everything hither had a fixed placement. I did knoweth of his trickery aforetime. It sounds like Foreman Ting just wanted to gain more knowledge. The lab hath its own rules. I doth not like people who doth not follow the rules. I muse going to work on the factory floor was the superior answer for Ting. If it be true, thither is all. Okay, it's the same. Okay, no more questions. Yes, so talk to Ho Shu Heng. Mr. Shen, what would you like to know? Ting's relationships. Mr. Ho, you seem quite familiar with Mr. Robinson. I speak a bit with Mr. Robinson's language, of Mr. Robinson's language, so I sometimes can help him with communications. Mr. Robinson is a very interesting person. I really enjoy talking to him. How is Foreman Ting's relationship with Mr. Robinson? Foreman Ting used to be Mr. Robinson's assistant, but their relationship was never too close. You both have probably already heard about Foreman Ting's beating up Mr. Robinson a while ago. What was the specific reason for that? Foreman Ting came to ask Mr. Robinson in private to help him test the steel made by his methods. Mr. Robinson agreed and ran tests over and over and again, but the results were unsatisfactory. Foreman Ting was quite stubborn and insisted that Mr. Robinson was being half-hearted. Half-assed where I'm from. Translators trying their darnest to get something across. I guess that his English is weird, but it's like, because we've established that at least the protagonist can speak English. He, like in the previous stream, we were in England and he studies in Boston, so he speaks fluent English. So I don't understand why this guy's English is so Yeah, the quaint way the chemist speaks. Yeah, but it's a bit too, I don't know, over the top quaint and random as well. Anyway, Robinson only meant to help. Naturally, he resented Foreman Ting's accusations. Mr. Robinson's words became quite harsh. Foreman Ting was so angry that he beat up Mr. Robinson. The matter was only resolved when Mr. Lee stepped in. After all, Foreman Ting was just too eager to achieve success. Mr. Shen, okay, no more question. Portrait on the wall. Look, Shen, is portrait of Zhang Jidong. Mr. Zhang advocates education and industry. He's a person I admire greatly. Okay. Not here for a history lesson. Yeah, we don't know how over the top he speaks in the original exactly. I was wondering like how, I wonder how it is, but don't know. Don't know. Stack of documents, bottle of ink and a quill pen are placed on the desk. Oh, this is a chemical test report for steel. Sample made from Westphalian coke. You were right. Well, he's not a meth dealer, he's a coke dealer. The results relate only to tested sample as received. I know coke is also something used in steel manufacture. I've played Dwarf Fortress long ago. Steel in this report is made by using coal from Westphalia. All indexes are up to standard. Steel in his report was made by a mixture of Chinese coke breeze and anthracite. What a shame, due to the high phosphorus content, fragmentation easily appears in the steel. It seems that the choice of fuel really affects the quality of the steel. Magazine cabinet and complete account of iron manufacture, electricity. The bookshelf is full of technical books. The remaining documents are all in foreign languages. Natural philosophy is the first book I read about the study of physics. Okay, guess it's just some history stuff. Brazier. There are some paper ashes in the brazier that seem to have burned out not long ago. Your candles burned out long ago, but your legend never... This brazier brings back some memories. Some bad memories, yeah, from the second crime. Okay, let's talk to the journalist again. Miss Wen, are you also here to investigate the laboratory? I'm here for the photos. The camera was destroyed, but unfortunately the film inside was untouched. Mr. Robinson from the laboratory helped me develop them. Is there a dark room? What kind of photos did you take? Can we have a look? I only took a few and most of them are scenery shots. You can see for yourself. Shen, let's take a look at her photos. Oh, photos of her on holiday snaps. Nudge, nudge, say no more. One moment, there are a few questions I would like to ask Miss Wen. Ask away, great detective, about the ironworks. As you're writing a report on the ironworks, you must know its recent developments. Well, of course, I'm a senior reporter. It's really difficult for national enterprises like the Hanyang Ironworks to develop and grow. They need to buy foreign equipment, even mineral resources are controlled by foreigners. At the market, foreigners control the right to build most railways in China. This is, I guess, funny and ironic because nowadays it feels like it's the other way around. Like if, Western companies want to make something, or they have to, basically ask China to make it for them or bring the ingredients or the parts for it. So how the tables have turned. They are the ones who decide whose steel rails to buy and what the standards for testing are. Take the Shanghai-Nanjing Railway with British Chief Engineer, for example. The agreement specifies that the British in charge of purchasing take a commission of 5%. Naturally, the British will choose to buy Western products to gain more profit. When the they purchase steel rails, they would nitpick at Hanyang Ironworks products. Recently, the Ironworks is more competitive due to a new method that greatly reduces costs. However, rumors about the bad quality of its steel rails have sent the Ironworks to rock bottom. No wonder Deputy Administrator Lee seemed so anxious. That's why he hopes that my news report can help them restore their reputation. Ask away, Greatic. Okay. So wait, we didn't get to see the pictures. Wow, here are the photos, okay. On the left is a photo of Hanyang Ironworks freight dock. Yeah, that's where we arrived, right? In the middle is the photo of the molten steel basin. We have seen this before. This photo was taken in the office of the furnace factory floor. Here he is not wearing the hood, because during his last day, the dead guy was wearing a hood, which was unusual for him. The office in the photo looks different to what it's like now. Photo of Deputy. Okay. Wait, is the shrine here, or is it missing, or what's this bag? Miss Man, was this photo taken yesterday evening as well? Yep. What about it? This detail in the photo differs from the office, how the office is now. Seems quite peculiar. Bag. Shane, the money bag and the money on the desk disappeared without a trace. This money was probably taken to pay wages, right? That's right, but there's nothing peculiar about that. Shane, let's take another detail, okay? Can we... I think the shrine looks the same, and this thing was here. Was this here or somewhere else? Item in the photo appears to be more worn out than it is now, and the content is different. Worn out? Is it this one? Then the blueprints on the wall changed. In the photo, the flowchart of the steelmaking process was placed above the map. But now it's a working drawing on the open hearth furnace. Furthermore, the map in the photo looks evidently more worn down. Who did it? Why would they suddenly make such a change? When the incident occurred, I was in the office. The blueprints were switched out then. Shen, do you think it could be related to Foreman Sting's death? It's hard to believe that there is no connection whatsoever between these two. Could it be that the suspect did it? We cannot rule out the possibility that Foreman Singh did this. Was it necessary for Foreman Singh to replace the flowchart with the working drawing? Could you not surprise me like that? Could you not avoid the subject? Answer me. Was it necessary for Foreman Singh to replace the flowchart with a working drawing? No need. There was no need. Both furnaces are in operation. It didn't make any sense to hang the working drawing up again. Foreman Singh had no reason to change the blueprints, nor did other workers. Unless the suspect did it. Go on. Does the suspect have a valid reason to replace the blueprints? To cover up traces? Was it to cover up traces on the wall? That's not right. The size and location of the blueprints have not changed. Leave a message? Was it to leave a message? I have already examined them. Nothing special about the two blueprints. No traces of handwriting. Okay, destroy information. Okay. Clearly, there was some information on the paper that they did not want us to see. In order to destroy it, they switched out both the blueprints. So, what kind of information was it? Nothing special about the two blueprints in the photo, no traces of handwriting on them either. Aside from its worn-out state, the map is in the exact same as the map on the wall now. Which means... I don't know, was concealed. Perhaps the information exists in some kind of hidden way. For example, ink that can only be shown under certain circumstances. Or perhaps the paper has undergone special treatment. If there really was such a hidden information, there would be no need to replace the blueprints. Okay, was the left alone? Not quite sure what it means here. The information could have only been left alone. After the photo was taken, new information appeared on the blueprints that were torn off. So what's the new information? There are too many possibilities. No, the suspect has only one reason to hide evidence. Hidden evidence will reveal their crime. Rumors say Ting was killed by ghosts, but he was most likely murdered before falling into the ladle. This means that the new information that appeared on the blueprints was... Suspect's identity? Could it be some information the blueprints would uncover suspect's identity? Name, fingerprint, or perhaps some other kind of personal mark? Would that mark appear simultaneously on two large sheets of paper, placed next to each other? This type of mark is usually small, but it could appear at the paper seams by coincidence. However, the more probable circumstance would be that bloodstains? No, it was most likely bloodstains. The suspect is trying to make people believe Ting was killed by ghosts. If bloodstain is found on the factory floor, their schemes would be exposed. Evidence. Give me evidence that supports your deduction. Evidence. What other evidence have I yet to consider? Evidence that could directly prove the deceased was injured and bleeding. I don't think I really have to save, but I remembered I haven't saved in an eternity. Was injured and bleeding. It's got a uniform. This... I wonder if it's because, like, maybe that's why he had the hood on, because he was injured, like, you know, maybe his ear was cut off or something. And no, this piece of evidence is irrelevant. Uniform. It's rust. Well, I guess rust can be a similar color to blood. Silver coins. Headcloth. That's right. Foreman Ting abnormally wore a headcloth this morning. Okay, so it was the other evidence. I didn't remember it. I mentioned the headcloth in that testimony. The headcloth may have been used to cover the scars and bloodstains on his head. However, this is not enough to prove the hypothesis I just made. Unfortunately, the body has been destroyed, otherwise an autopsy would reveal everything. Even if it's just a hypothesis, at least it tells us that The primary crime scene is most likely the office. Shen, are you alright? Did your headache act up again? I'm fine. Just now I have understood something. It's most likely that the office was the primary crime scene. The blueprints were switched out because blood splattered across them. Whoa, so that's what it was. However, this is just a hypothesis. I need to find a way to prove it. If blood splattered onto the blueprints, we should be able to find blood stains on the wall. But we didn't find anything at all, so it must have been wiped clean. If we could find a way to test for it. Can we... no, not this one. Can we ask Mr. Robinson about testing? No. Okay, maybe we... appliance cabinet. Variety of reagents are displayed in this cabinet. Hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, ammonia, hydrogen peroxide. They really do have everything. Afu, what kind of experiments are these reagents used for? They're mainly used to test the composition of minerals and steel. I see. What happened? Shen, are you alright? I'm fine. Just remembered a few unpleasant memories. As long as you're fine. Shen, I just found a bottle of reagent that's quite rare. Perhaps it can be of use. Shen, I've got an idea. In my father's notes, I once read about an ammonia powder that glows when it reacts with blood. Or other bodily fluids. I never thought this laboratory would have it. See? This one. The scientific name for it is 3-aminotralhydrazide. I can try to prepare blood detection reagents. That will be wonderful. Let's go borrow Mr. Robinson's laboratory table. Oh no, it's time to prepare the blood detection reagent. Remember, left for items, right for weights. Just need to follow my father's notes step by step. Ooh baby, gonna get to you girl. I'm sure it will be made perfectly. Can we... okay, yes, we can see it better. So, luminol. This is the order. 1, 2, 3, 4. So first we have to get luminol. This. Was it the other way around? Wait, no, do we have to get... Switch screen. Oh no, there's more crap here. God damn it. So it's this much luminol. Alright. Then natrium oxide hydrogen, what? Neo. Is it this one? 6 grams. Then it's H2O 9 seam. Like this? Yeah. Ooh, I feel so smart. I got it immediately. Does this game teach kids how to make meth? Shh! Don't tell them. I'm gonna get into trouble. Everybody's gonna get into trouble. H2O2. This one, H2O2. So how much was it? 40 milliliters. Can we just like get rid of this? It was 40, right? Yes. Classic me, blood detection reagents is all done. Okay, that wasn't as tough as it looked initially, there's just so many ingredients. The oxidation reaction between the reagent prepared by AFU and the iron in hemoglobin will produce... Excellent, let's go to the office for verification. Let's go check out the elevator first. Hold it right there, Mr. Shen. What's wrong, Mr. Patrolman? You can't go through there. This elevator leads to the second floor. The conveyor door is locked. Even if you went up, you'd have to come back down. Okay. Then we just have to go, not manually, but pedally. Steel ingots casted from molten steel in Ladle 2 after the incident. According to AFU, the remains of the deceased will not be within them. Your Honor, there are a few questions about the shrine that I would like to ask you. There's no harm in asking. I heard that Mr. Deputy Administrator was the one who arranged the statue. Foreman Singh repeatedly asked me to invite the guards in, and I couldn't argue with him. He was quite concerned about this, and even built the shrine by himself. Who would know that after the guards were invited in, all these terrible things would happen? So Foreman Singh built the shrine and the altar by himself. Shen, we didn't check the altar beneath the shrine earlier. No matter, feel free to investigate it, as long as you can solve the case as soon as possible. Rotate. Oh, okay. Huh? Behind the altar. It's a secret compartment. Okay, that was... Is it find? It's open. Oh, look, Shen, there's a lot of containers and reagents in the secret compartment. It appears this is the true secret of the shrine. There are 3 bottles placed on the shelf, one of which has been sealed at the mouth. I can't read the label of the bottle clearly, so I'll open it. There's a gunpowder smell. I got it. Shen, this bottle contains concentrated nitric acid. There's a black mark on the partition board that feels hollow to the touch. It's the result of corrosion. Hey now, sing this corrosion to me. The 2 pieces of steel soaked in reagent seem to have been corroded. One of the labels says made with pig iron burned with coal from Westphalia. The other label says sample made by a mixture of Chinese coke grease and anthracite. What is ammonia, sodium hydroxide, there are all kinds of reagents placed on this shelf. A crucible, an iron frame, funnel, beaker, conical flask and a dropper. These are all common appliances used for chemical experiments that are placed on this shelf. Completed. I didn't expect there was a whole set of chemical appliances hidden within the shrine. So he was actually secretly conducting experiments instead of worshipping gods. I never knew any of this. Mr. Deputy Administrator, would it be possible to ask you a few more questions? Go on, Mr. Shen. About the appliances, has Mr. Deputy Administrator ever seen these chemical appliances in the shrine? I never knew there was a secret. He was secretly conducting experiments. However, these appliances do look like the ones used in the laboratory in the backyard. Is it possible that Foreman Ting borrowed these from the laboratory? I can't be sure, but Foreman Ting used to be the assistant to Mr. Robinson, the chemist here. Not there. Later on, we need the foreman on the factory floor. Mr. Robinson recommended him. Is it not true that he's overqualified for the job as foreman? It's indeed more laborious and dangerous to work on the factory floor than in a laboratory. However, he had great enthusiasm for steelmaking. Go on and... Okay, his research. They thought that they would get away with this. Yeah, they won't. I recall you once said that he was always been studying open heart steelmaking technology. Yes, he wanted to improve the formulation of steel to reduce cost and increase efficiency. The minerals obtained by our ironworks are mostly phosphate rocks left over by the Japanese. To produce good steel we had to buy pricey phosphorus-free coke from the foreigners. Not only are production costs high, the quality has always been unstable. After we used open heart process, the product quality has improved, but costs are still high. Things suggested replacing foreign coke with a mixture of Pingxiang coke grease and anthracite. The steel would be then refined in the open heart furnace as phosphorus is removed. The open heart process uses alkaline furnace, which is good at removing phosphorus. Of course, you should know that. Nevertheless, this has nothing to do with the chemical appliances in the shrine. Go on, Mr. Shen. Okay, about the Ting's suggestions. I heard from the workers that there was a problem with the batch of the products. Ting's method reduced cost by 1/3. We also did some tests on the mechanical properties. The results are good. Therefore, we trial produced a batch of steel rails. Good quality and low price helped us get orders from many railways. But that's when things went wrong? Indeed. The test report from London came back saying that there were quality problems with our products. The report says that the carbon content of the steel was too low to be durable. The phosphorus content was too high and has prospects of fragmentation. As a result, the construction company for the railways refused to accept our steel rails. The public also accused us of cutting corners on such an important matter. I felt so ashamed. I'm sure Foreman Ting was also under a lot of stress too. After the incident, Foreman Ting's condition hadn't been so good. So I was actually secretly conducting experiments instead of worshipping gods. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Administrator. After and I shall continue investigating following this clue. Okay, Let's see. Eerie statues. Avu kicked over the statue, causing Shen. I know the principle behind the shrine unleashing its powers. Is it related to chemical reagents inside the cabinet? Exactly. The so-called power shrine is actually over to Ageno. So remember when Avu kicked the shrine? I bet he accidentally knocked over the concentrated nitric acid in the cabinet. The acid has gunpowder smell. When it evaporates, it produces a yellowish-white smoke. See, I know that was completely random. I wasn't sure which one it is. If that's the case, then Avu fell ill because he inhaled acid? Yes, he was on acid. Nitric acid harms the respiratory tract. Avu was close by. He probably inhaled a lot. They are afraid of ghosts. They don't know chemistry. It's easy for them to be superstitious. Avu, that was good deducing. Hehe, classic me. Alright, disappearing railing. Shen, once I saw those rubber blocks, I understood everything. The pungent grayish-white powder we found on site was residue from the burning of rubber. Ah, okay. You mean to say that the murderer had set up a rubber rod there as a railing? Oh. The rubber I have seen in the past is soft and incapable of supporting the weight of a person. What we found in the warehouse was not just ordinary rubber, but vulcanized hard rubber. So that's what they use for dildos. At ambient temperature, it can sustain a person's weight and won't easily become deformed. But once the outlet shutter is opened and the temperature close to the by rises rapidly. Ah, okay. The rubber will then soften and deform, causing form and thing to topple over. From a distance, it would seem like the railing had suddenly disappeared. It appears the murderer is very familiar with what is stored inside the warehouse. Appliances hidden under the shrine. Apparently worshipping the shrine behind closed doors was just a cover. Foreman Singh was actually conducting some kind of chemical experiment in secret. But there's a laboratory in the factory. Why didn't he just go there to conduct experiments? Obviously he did not want anyone to know. He must have had a reason. Mr. Deputy Administrator, we suspect that the office was the scene of the crime. We need to detect blood. Shall we close the door and windows and turn off all the lights? As long as it contributes to uncovering the truth, do whatever is convenient for you to do. Avu sprayed blood detection reagent throughout the room. Maybe he just had a, party here. Look, Shen, it's blood on the walls and the floor. Is everything that is glowing a blood stain? It appears that we need to re-investigate this room. The blood stains on the wall are mainly cast-off patterns, blood stains with a wide range. Preliminary judgment, the murder weapon was not a knife, but a blunt object instead. Could the murder weapon be something inside this room? If it is an object in this room, the murderer probably committed a crime of passion. Is it a statue? Shen, I have a bold hypothesis. Go on. My instincts tell me that the murderer weapon was the statue of Ganjiang and Mo Ye. The weight is appropriate, but the shape seems to be a bit short. You can try to test it. I've examined the shrine and the statue closely. There's no luminous reaction at all. I guess it wasn't the statue. If my own instincts were as sharp as Shen's. I do not rely on my instincts to solve cases, though. Really? It's so dark. What's this thing? Shen, do you think the steel rail sample on the display shelf could be a murder weapon? You might as well try testing it. I'm afraid I can't. What's the matter? If the reagent is applied to the steel rail, the result might be inaccurate. What's this then? Steel rail assembled and displayed could be the murder weapon. Okay, so... okay, the shelf is that whole thing. How about something here? Already tested every object on the desk. There weren't any reactions to blood. How about this thing? There are 2 long cast-off pattern bloodstains on the board of name badges. The cast-off range is wider than any of the cases I have seen before. Since the name badges are blocking the bloodstains, shall I take them down and test them? Sure, but keep a record of the hanging positions of each name badge. Understood, hanging positions could also be clues. Already tested all the name badges and there weren't any reactions to blood. Bloodstains on the copper board are continuous and unobscured. Shane, does this mean that the crime took place before the workers started work? You are correct. There are no bloodstains on the wall near the code of practice. How was this? There isn't any reaction to blood on this clock, which means it's not a murder weapon. How about this stuff? There weren't any reactions to blood on the tables, chairs and teacups over here. How about the lamp? I already tested the chair. Okay. There weren't any reactions. How about the cabinet itself? Shane, I have both hypotheses. No, okay. I thought maybe he was something inside the shrine, yeah, but apparently not. Or not like he wasn't banged against the shrine or anything. How about this? The steel, okay, it's the steel rail is the whole thingy. Carpet, the floor itself, there's a blurry bloodstain on the floor with uneven thickness. This is a swipe pattern bloodstain left by the murderer when they cleaned up the crime scene. You see those parallel lines at the edge are swipe marks. Scattered spots surrounding the blurry bloodstain that seem to be projected bloodstains. This is the result of blood colliding and splattering all over. Such traces often appear at the scene where the victim is repeatedly hit by a blunt instrument. Could I think like the murderer? If I was the murderer, I would remove the murder weapon from this place. Okay. So there's nothing here, not here, not this, not this, this. Yeah, I can't click. The wall with blueprints has cast-off pattern bloodstains as expected. The cast-off range is quite wide, so the murderer weapon seems to be something that is very long. It's my dick. I'll take down the map and paste it back later. The bloodstain on the wall stops when it reaches the map. The murderer really switched out the blueprints to hide bloodstains. Shane's deduction is incredible. Okay, so we don't find the murder weapon here. Oh no? Haven't we clicked on everything? Investigatable points. Bloodstains on the floor, strange blood marks on the floor, bloodstains on the wall, nameplate board, shrine, display shelf, code of practice, not essential, clock, not essential, desk, not potted landscape, left side, table, chairs, not right side, floor, strange blood marks on the floor. Okay, so there's 2 bloods stains on the floor like this. Blurry blood stains must have been left by the murderer. Scattered spots surrounding the blurry blood stain that seems to be projected blood stains. They often appear at the scene where the victim is repeatedly attacked by blood. How about this thing? Chen, these two bloodstains look really strange. This one looks like a symbol drawn on the bloodstained floor. The other one looks like a stamp, and it feels somewhat familiar. Something that could leave such a large bloodstain should be the murder weapon, right? That is highly possible. This trace is very important and needs to be specifically recorded. No problem. Bloodstain found on the office floor by using blood detection reagent looks familiar. I kind of... okay. Completed this section. Alright. Deputy Administrator, would it be possible to ask questions? So what next? Oh, okay. This guy. Oh, what are you doing here? Did you just say that the foreman was murdered? At present, it is highly likely that he was murdered. Mr. Shen, you believe what I say, right? Yes. I remember something strange. My master doesn't let me say much, and I'm not sure if this is important or not. There's no one else here. I will be at ease, tell us. This morning I noticed that the crane hook was not stationed at its usual position. Where is the crane hook usually positioned? It's supposed to be between furnace number 1 and furnace number 1 and 2. Yeah, we did it! We don't have the murderer yet, or whoever culprit. But when I got there this morning, I saw the crane hook was stationed in front of furnace number 2. Is it possible that someone used the crane to hook during working hours? Not likely. No one would move the crane hook if we weren't casting ingots. So you suspect that someone used the crane hook last night? That's right. Thank you, Awu. This really helps with our investigations. Anyway, hurry up and find that murderer. So the crane hook position when he started work morning suspected it was used last night. The existing evidence is enough for me to sort out some doubts. Slag heap. Since there's no body to examine, Auntie already left. Oh yeah, she was here too. Factory floor front door is just ahead. Would you like to get some fresh air? We are short on time. Let's focus on the investigation first. The crane hook as a blunt weapon does not sound like a crime of passion. No, and also, guess you have to be quite strong. This was the ladle the foreman fell into. Should we still talk to the old guy here? Iron heap. Oddly, the factory floor is already quite arid. Why is there a tarpaulin covering the iron? Ting instructed us to do so. He was afraid the bulk material and the iron would be mixed up. Oddly, there are still a few questions I would like to ask. Okay, do we have... Shen Chumping briefed Oddly on his recent analysis. So you're saying the foreman Ting was murdered? It wasn't because he provoked that thing in the shrine. Of course, we knew. We went to the office and nothing happened. Oddly, between last night and this morning, have you noticed anything unusual? Or perhaps, have you heard any strange noises? Nothing unusual or any strange noises. Were you working at the second floor furnace area all night? Yes, sometimes I take a break, but I never left, not even for a second. Spent the whole night on the second floor, I found nothing unusual. That conflicts with this. That thing on his back. Yeah, he has some hook or something. Or is it a pipe? The movements of the crane hook are exceedingly noisy. If you are really here all night, how could you have not known that someone used the crane hook last night? Unless you were the person who moved the crane hook. It wasn't me. Last night I did in fact leave the second floor furnace area. Where did you go? I stayed up past midnight. I was very hungry and I went to the dock to have a midnight snack. No way, if you left, who was looking after the furnace? The furnace could be unattended for an hour after materials are shoveled in. Patrolman Koo can prove it. Whenever I'm on duty, we go to the dock together around that time. I swear I'm not lying. You'll trust your words for now. Is there anything else you're hiding from us? No. Only, have you ever opened the conveyor door after the incident? Well, that's... If you keep fumbling, it'll just increase our suspicions. Well... Fine. After the incident, I did open the conveyor door without permission. The fire was so intense, it's only natural I fear death. Only, it's only human nature to flee for your life, but why did you keep this a secret earlier? There are rules of operation that require workers to put out the fire as a priority. I didn't have the guts to stay, but I was also afraid they would cut my pay. I have family to support, so many mouths to feed. Be at ease, Oddly, we just want to uncover the truth. We do not intend to cause you any trouble. Yeah, thanks a lot. Guess investigate this place. Oddly, did you unlock the conveyor door at a later time? Yes, it's embarrassing to admit. Are you the only person who holds the key to the conveyor door? I'm the only person on the factory floor that has the keys. We would like to try and take the elevator. Please open the doors for us. Will do. So here, open the door. Yeah, it's a pipe. Okay. There's the thing that he has there. How did you two come out from there? We are investigating every nook and cranny that seems suspicious. If there's anything about elevator and warehouse. When the incident occurred, were you in this warehouse? Did you see anyone get off the elevator? I don't know. I was in front of the office doors at the time. Is this warehouse usually locked? Does anyone stand guard? The warehouse usually isn't locked. There's somebody here. Warehouse usually isn't locked or guarded since there's nothing important kept in there. If there's anything you want to know, you can ask. Oddly claims that whenever he's on duty, he goes to the dock with you to eat midnight snacks. You know about that already? Was that the case last night? We were just taking a little break. If there's anything you want to know, okay. I guess that's all. The sword has blunt parts, but that would be too similar to another crime we solved. Yeah, I don't think it was that guy's murder. That guy's sword, I almost said, and that guy's murder weapon. But I should probably save and end the stream here because I have to go cook for somebody who is laughing in my lap right now. This one. Alas, I don't have time to solve the murder today. That has to happen tomorrow. But oh yeah, I have the shield for my latest TV Argospective on YouTube and Rumble. There's the Honor Among Thieves Dungeons and Dragons movie. I made a video on that, so go check it out. And nice to see you again, Agent Double Hertz, my loyal sidekick in my investigations. Nice to see you, and so thanks for watching. Bye bye, all that.